Hey, what is up, guys? Control here. Back. I think I've uploaded like 2 videos in the past 2 months, so sorry for the little bit of a delay. If you guys don't know, I basically got a real life job, a non-streaming one about 6 or 7 months ago. So I've been kind of just working at that for a little bit. Everything was fine for the most part. Kept up with content for maybe the first 3 or 4 months, I'd say. And then things got a little bit tougher, more overwhelming, more stressful, that type of stuff. No time for rest. So I started slacking on videos and all that kind of stuff. And I think my general enjoyment of the game was going down a little bit with just Targon being kind of miserable to play against, I think. And, even right now, I mean, it's a good time because, there's going to be a balance patch in a day or two, I think. But at the moment, even with like all of the TF, the TF Fizz stuff and the Aphelios plus the landmark shenanigans, kind of not the most fun time to play Runeterra, I think. Hopefully with the patch so that changes. But anyways, it's just a little bit of an update. I have actually quit my job now. So I had an anxiety attack about 3 weeks ago. To see a doctor, let me know that I have depression and anxiety. So I'm working on that, seeing a therapist, and trying to just generally better my life, I guess. And that's kind of where I'm at the moment. Part of that, I want to get back into daily YouTube videos. So I'm gonna be working on that. That's one of my 2 main goals, that and just exercising daily. Those 2 things are probably my highest priority right now, I'd say. So I'm working on that. That being said, I don't know if I'll stream all of the video content that I've been making. I think that's, like the video after this is one that I just did off stream. It's similar sometimes. I feel like Runeterra is kind of a mentally taxing game, and one that can be tough to try and entertain while playing. And I don't really want to stream where I'm just like not really, interacting with my chat. I like talking to you guys. It's fun. So if I'm doing that, I feel like I play worse. So I feel like, probably will do most of my Runeterra stuff off stream. Unless, I'm hyped up one, I just like play on stream for a little bit. So I'll stream that sometimes. But I think for the most part, I'll be recording my Runeterra videos in the morning, uploading them, and then after that, going live with, some variety stuff. Games like Dark Souls, The Witcher, Catherine. I played a little bit of Hearthstone Classic recently, for example. Stuff like that. So that'll be Twitches. But if you guys like my YouTube stuff, Twitch Prime, so I'll appreciate that, as I am now unemployed. Very nice. I definitely appreciate that. But it was just like a little bit of an update to let you guys know where I'm coming from. But I'm looking forward to getting back into making content and hopefully pumping out videos that are of the same quality that you guys are used to. Which hopefully is good. I don't know. Anyways, I just want to say thank you for your patience and update you a little bit with where I'm at. So basically just dealing with some shit and, trying my best to work through it. That's about it. Okay, so we're kicking it back classic, gentlemen. Really not too much of anything that's crazy fancy here. This is a throwback to when I held rank 3 Masters for 2 months in beta. Yeah, spiders. No Darius this time though. It's a little bit too expensive now. Kind of just not that great anymore. Gas that you need from this deck kind of just comes from, I guess, just Stalking Shadows, really. It seems like this card is just really massive in drawing 2 units for you. One that's really good to see, as you're going to see in the video, that ends up mattering a ton, is Stygian Onlooker. This card is absolutely bonkers, especially when picked up off of Stalking Shadows. For 4 mana, you get 2 4/1s with Fearsome, which are very frightening. And spell mana can obviously be 2 of that, so it's quite good. And you can fit it into those sort of mid-game turns between 4 and 6 to kind of push the final damage. The final chip damage to kind of get you there, and then you can generally finish games over the top with things like Demolitionist, Fervor, Decimate, Doom Beast as well. But that's kind of what you could do with that. So new cards that kind of make this archetype good, again, are the 2 that we just talked about, the Stygian Onlooker, the Stalking Shadows. I'm labbing Unto Dusk as well, so I think this one's kind of interesting because you can then give an Onlooker its Nightfall effect again afterwards, because when the round is done, this card does lose the Fearsome effect and the 2 attack. But if you play Unto Dusk, it'll work again. It also does work as well with Doom Beast for a little bit more reach, and it does draw you a card at burst speed, which is kind of nice. And you get that without even activating the Nightfall, so this can just be, burst speed 2 mana draw 1, which honestly isn't really that bad by itself. So sometimes if you don't need the added effect, this is fine, just cycles, and it's good for like those later turns when you maybe need to get that Decimate or the Fervor to end the game. Other than that, though, the deck is relatively similar to what we would play previously. There's not anything that's too fancy here. It's just a bunch of strong units. See some 1-drops that aren't necessarily spiders, like the Saboteur. Previously, in another universe, we got to play with, Legion Rearguard, which is a 3/2. Obviously, this is a card nobody's seen anything of in the past 17,000 years. So it turns out 3/1s kind of suck compared to 3/2s. And there may even be like a Bloodthirsty Martyr card from Shurima that I don't think even sees any play at all either. So these 3/1s are kind of dog shit, no matter how you look at it. One thing I do like to add into this deck that's a little bit different than most people, I think, is Brothers Bond. I think that it is still pretty good. You don't go super wide in this list, but you do have Elise and House Spider as 2-drops, which make your turns like 3 to 4 attacks a lot better, especially when you have one of those two in play. Those two are going to be quite a bit wider than your opponent. It's also quite good when you're blocking to let your cheaper units trade up, or, just get that push damage to kind of end up being like a 2-mana burst speed decimate, is what I find it ends up being a lot of times in this deck. Wouldn't run it as a 3-of, and I think as a 1-of is fine if you so choose to do that. But, I like it as a 2-of, and I find this deck to be quite good. I was actually trying to play a different list. I played a Draven, Darius, Shurima, Noxus aggressive deck, and I went like 4 and 7 with it. It was pretty miserable, so I was like, I actually just switched it to spiders, and yeah, I literally just ripped it up 7 and 1, really fast wins. And I might actually just grind a Masters with this list real quick. It seems like it's going to be pretty fast. Games are honestly really quick, because you're kind of going to know whether you win or lose by turn 5 or 6. And that's really quick for the most part, assuming your opponent doesn't really rope. A lot of your early game decisions are pretty straightforward. I would say it's a pretty fun deck though, one that's really good to ladder grind with, and one that can definitely take down some of the top dogs at the moment, being like TF Fizz, Aphelios decks, that type of stuff. This is one that can get off all the damage you need to get off quicker than they can kind of pop off. You will struggle against the Fragilior type decks like Lysandra Trundle though, for example. Basically just things that run AoE clears. If they just start messing your spider stuff up or clearing your board, it's going to suck. But on the bright side, you can get out fast and continue farming the TFS guys. Sivir Renekton on odds. 9-1, 6 I'd want to play on one. I have 9-3s I'd want to play. I think Mauling's fine. Nice. Or 9-2s I'd want to play, sorry. I think the House Spider, Elise, and the Horror are all fine, right? So I think the looking for the one was a little bit better just because we were on odds. Drip drop the Eliza real quick. Ooh. It's kind of nutty. Block the 2-1 real quick. I don't think having a 1 health against these regions is really that relevant. So, we'll take the Eliza damage. Can't play Demolitionist, unfortunately, but it's still fine. I think it's just an open. It's a little bit bad, though, just because I really don't have any great follow-up. Even, developing these spiders here is kind of just not that good. Logic is that if he plays a unit, I'm usually just going to die to it, which is bad. Okay. Getting the spider to have the vulnerability is quite good. So I think we'll do that plus the Doom Beast here. Fortunately, Doom Beast is not a spider. I wish it was, because then we get the flip, which is kind of good. At least flipped is, relatively strong. Unfortunately, not happening now. I was thinking of actually gone Stalking Shadows and looked for the pet. Ripped one of those and we'd be fine. It's all good though. Renekton. What a thickie. God damn. You can still play a card that gives this vulnerable. Who's pass to start with? He's going to want to attack here, right? Yeah, exhaust on the Eliza. Unlucky. Kind of just have to take it here, unfortunately. Sort of just how it goes. You just go Saboteur plus Host Spider here. Just go wide and kind of just attack, I think will be the game plan. I don't think there's too much that I'd want from Stalking Shadows at the moment, so I feel like this play is just fine. Bond is quite nice. Not too concerned with the attack order either. I don't think that's really the biggest deal ever. Need to Bond here and here. Kill the Renekton hopefully and push 2 extra. Could also argue that just pushing the 2 extra, putting him at 6 is a better idea. I don't have exact lethal with Demolitionist and Fervor though, so it's kind of not really the biggest deal in my opinion. That's fine. So it goes for the Troll Chant, no big deal. Keeps the Rennie alive. Still at 8 though. So I would say overall we're still doing relatively hot. The shadows here, see what we get. Some demo ladies. I will take some more damage, please. Yes. It's kind of just lethal already. Sort of nice. Stalking Shadows has to be one of the most broken cards. It doesn't really seem that broken. A 2-mana burst speed, draw 2 units is pretty strong. No matter what way you kind of try and spin it. 3 mana left. I could just double the Fervor during combat because I don't think you play the right card. Yeah, the Rite of Passages he cannot play.
Gonna catch the sky.
Trying to think about other cards for 3 or less that he could play that would actually ruin this play, but I don't know if there actually are any. But yeah, anyways. That should hopefully be lethal. Could play the Shaped Stones card, plus 3/1. But again, these effects go off before combat resolves, so that would not be a tie. It would just be me winning still. Balanced card, Fervor is. Very, very balanced. Good game 1. Spider still got it, boys. He really down. Draven Jinx with a wonderful Teemo thrown in. Okay. On odds, Executor is fine. The Horror is also okay. I don't think I'm going to keep Bond though. Bond is generally a lot better in hands where you have access to just House Spider. This is kind of the best card, or at least one of those two, just because they let you go wide, which kind of just allows you to have more options with the units you buff. If you're not going wide, then the card is honestly pretty bad. But when you are going wide or are finding you're getting to block units with a quick attack, it's one of the best cards in the deck. Problem is it's not like as flexible as other ones, which means it is a little bit more narrow in its uses. And not as broken always as, say, something like a Decimate, which you just can always count on as being the 4 damage that you'd want from Bond. That being said, I mean, Bond just has a few more requirements going on to make it work. Okay, pretty straightforward clear there. Unfortunate trade, but it is what it is. What a horrifying draw. Okay, I can see one for next round. This attacks 2-1, gets damage because I'm never making that trade ever. Play that much. Absolutely never in my life. No, sir.
This is awesome.
Okay, am I really just gonna be playing spiders right now? It's a hand, I guess. Again, very horrifying. And also Axe, the biggest fan to block one of these now, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. Nope, chooses not to. It'd be like a vision angle then, where you just like plays the Axe on a vision on the Chompers. So Chompers gets to trade one. Battlecaster plus Axe, okay. Similar enough. But realistically, kind of just trade here, honestly. With the hand that we have at the moment, if he doesn't go ahead and kill our units. It's like there's an angle where we just like Fervor the Draven. But I'm not sure if that's really the one we're gonna look for. I guess because makes that trade then be okay. Well, now the Decimate would be lethal, so I probably should respect the Draven and clear it. Yeah, I was gonna say the angle we could go for is like Decimate plus Doombeast next round after open attacking, because he wouldn't have blockers, and then after that, what we could do is just go ahead and Doombeast Fervor or Fervor Doombeast. And honestly, it could even be fine just to call the bluff and say, yeah, man, you really actually don't have a Decimate. It's your one card. And just win. I guess I'm just a little bit of a pussy. 6 goes to 7. If I don't win on open, I think I may lose, but I don't get to play Decimate on the open attack anyways next round. The issue is being one off if I don't play the Saboteur. This is where I'm at least. But I think I still have to just open and probably just play Saboteur plus Doom Beast afterwards. And see that I'm not going to win with just a Deathmate. And hopefully block as many cards as we can. Okay, or the vision happens. Of course. So we're a little bit far off winning now. So we have ways to heal. We have a nice solid card. Drain, I think, is a very sweet keyword for aggressive decks. Onlooker is not very good. Not gonna lie. There are better cards to get than that. Okay. Jinx into the Jinx flip. Okay, well, Super Mega Death Rockets could be a lot of fun. It's a not joke. It's not going to be fun at all. Shadows, though. Demolitionist. Double Skitter is kind of broken. Can't play that with the Doom Beast though. But it's technically lethal if he doesn't have bigger units, right? Actually, fuck the Jinx. Flip will be able to block. I maybe didn't think that through. So you reduce her attack twice, then she goes to a 2-3. But if you flip her, she's a 2 or 3-4. Okay, so she does flip there, which is kind of annoying, and he gets 3 cards. So my play may have been bad. Not that the alternative won me the game right away either. So it's still one off, but yeah, it's kind of bad. He is 1 mana, so if he draws any kind of burn spell, he's gonna be fine. Otherwise, we still have a chance. Maybe not the best ever, but hey, we'll have 3+4 go in. So assuming literally nothing says, hey, I deal direct damage to units like Static Shock or, you know, Mystic, anything like that, we can in fact get there. Just because we do have the 4+7 technically. So I mean, hope for the best. And we get the best. Nice. So it kind of worked out. I mean, it was pretty unlikely to, though. Honestly, I think in most cases we would have lost there to like a, you know, Mystic Fervor or whatever you want to call it, Static Shock. But today has been a wild ride, and we're kicking it to MFGP. Engaging. I don't think I like Stygian on play. I'm a huge fan of the card, but I don't think I want to unturn one. It's my precious pet, man. That's what I'm asking. Let's go House Spider. The blocks are fine. Okay, I like that. I mean, Misfortune is pretty normal, but you can hope that maybe for 1 pan out the opponent doesn't have it. Sounds like such a joke, man. You can know if your opponent doesn't have MF for 1 flip. Like that's ever gonna happen. Okay, let's take some damage here. I'm just gonna play the pet and probably get the Elise flip. Really nice draw with the pet off the top. Just makes our life, I guess, a lot easier. Just because he sort of lacks challenge cards at the moment at least, and there's no MF on board. Unto Dusk. Not the best card when you have no Nightfall cards in play. Skitter. This is honestly though one of the best spider hands you can have. Flip the lease going into odds on 5 plus a absolute shit ton of spiders that do stuff. Sort of nice. It's not ideal, I don't think. Another Skitter. That's absolutely insane. We'll play Shadows here to see what we pick up. House Spider, Demolitionist, Doom Beast. I think the Doom Beast is probably the angle just for healing. I also don't know if I like Skitter here or not. Get a better trade there. Also just Doom Beast plus Unto Dusk as well. I think I may prefer that just because Gameplank's not dying anyways here if he drops that. Could also do that to block with next round though as well as the thing. So I guess I'm just going to play a Skitter, do a little bit more damage. Just because we can just really do the Doom Beast whenever we want. So we go, I guess 3-2 pulls that, 1-2, 2-1 pulls that. And then he rips some big DPS up top. Could also just do this as well. Put him at 3 and then decimate next turn. Should probably just do that actually. Kind of funny what a full board of Fearsome does. Budget elusive is kind of good. Sort of what this ends up being really if you think about it. Or the way that I would always kind of think about Fearsome is it kind of is just elusive but a lot worse. That being said, it can still be really good a lot of the time. Yeah. Anyways, I think Decimate probably locks us. Yeah, nice Gangplank. This deck is so ancient, man. It's honestly probably not that bad, and it's kind of funny mentioning an ancient deck because I mean I'm playing Spider Aggro, which is another ancient one. The only difference is this deck has got some new good cards like the Onlooker being broken, big ones also just being Stalking Shadows. Sivir Aphelios. What an engaging strategy. Both the new regions. Has to be broken, right? I'm playing super old stuff. With a few new cards, I guess, thrown in. But if you're playing all the new things against all the old stuff, you have to win. Unless we really just work our asses off, push yourselves to the limit, and kind of just defy the odds. Which might be possible if I get to just attack on turn 2 for 5 damage. Yeah. It's kind of good. That is until you realize they have a card called Star Shaping in their deck, and then it looks a little bit worse. But the truly important part here is going to be if we can drop the horror and have this flip happen, because if this does end up popping off, which, oh my god, it did. He is not going to be too happy. This Aphelios is going to get bopped. Another one. Okay, well, you know, in a world that we live in, this works. Guess I could go into the horror to play around. I wouldn't play around that. I was going to say cards like Bell Cascade or Shapestones. That's relevant too, though, I guess. I can, I guess, start to kill him. Play the Demolitionists. Veiled Temple plus Yasuo, or sorry, not Yasuo, plus Aphelios is kind of a strong combo. And one that may be leading to some people not actually playing Runeterra as much as they would otherwise. It's kind of interesting. Maybe a little bit broken, maybe a little bit less broken against something that's super aggressive like the list we're playing. But it is quite good. Okay, this card doesn't initially heal him at all, so I'll play Decimate and hopefully win the game. Which is not something you hear often from the player that's versing the Aphelios plus Temple deck. But if you're playing spiders, sometimes you can kill them fast enough that the infinite value doesn't actually matter.